Hello everyone, this is Kelly Hickman. I'm the distributor for GelMoment, and I am here to show you some basics about keeping your nails clean, how to polish and have a clean look without having the excess polish on your cuticle and on the sides like that. Right now they're a little glossy because I put some cuticle oil on those. I went ahead and removed the polish, the sparkly polish off of these two. That's why you see a little bit of sparkly residue. So first step, after you remove the polish and you follow your basic steps of putting in the packet, soaking it, and then gently scraping it off when it's ready with one of these awesome tools. It's double-sided, it has the flat side on here. This is going to come handy showing you tonight how to go about cleaning up your nail. So we're going to set that aside. Also have handy brushes out of the new Creativity brush set. This one has a little bit more of a round edge here. And then there's a small one like this that you can use to kind of clean up the sides. I'm going to show you 3 different ways you can clean up the sides. Have our trusty little file, a little mini file with the file on one side and buffer on the other. Also have a bottle of isopropyl, also known as rubbing alcohol. For starters, going to clean up this cuticle edge a little bit more. You always want to have nice clean cuticles before you apply the polish. That will be one thing that will help keep the polish from kind of pooling in here right into your cuticle and over it, is to make sure that your cuticle area is actually cleaned up. And I'm referring to, let's see if I can point you here. I'm referring to this part right in here, the cuticle, the excess keratin that is on your fingernail right here. I do not want to cut back or mess with this proximal fold here. That is a live tissue. If you pick at it, whatnot, it will be dry. So it's all dry right now. I've gotten a little lazy about applying the cuticle serum, so I'll get back on doing that. So first off, I'm going to utilize the awesome Refine Nail Spa. And this is something that I do each time I remove the polish, just to kind of clean up the cuticle and make sure it's nice and clean. So you're just going to just brush on a little bit right there. It's a nice base of beeswax and nice oils there. Oh, I also have a cleanser packet. We're going to utilize that as well. So I'm going to set that aside here. Let's leave that here so you know what I'm using at the moment. Get the light quite right. You can kind of see it. Okay. So with the Refine, it's a really awesome cuticle softener. And what you're going to do is just gently, I'm putting the scraping tool, and this is very important when you are removing the polish so that you don't gouge out your nail. I learned that the hard way, so I know to keep it more of this angle. You never want to come down like this angle. That's for sure, you'll create some new textures in your nail. You don't want to do that. You want to keep it more at this kind of angle. So I'm just going to very gently clean up the excess cuticle that has grown since my last manicure. And I turn this, so I utilize the corner part of this tool here. See, it's picking up some excess cuticle right in there. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. And gently as I go, gently push back. You never wanna force it, and you don't want it to cause you any pain. If it causes pain, then you're doing it too hard, okay? So you just want to do it very gently here. And don't worry about this looking dry right now. You can always rinse it off, or with the cleanser wipe, it takes care of that too. So we're just cleaning this up here. Sometimes you might have to, oh yeah, it's just a little excess skin on there, it looks like. that happens, you can, if you feel comfortable, now if you don't feel comfortable, then I would recommend you get used to these, but these are the cuticle nippers that we have that are really amazing for getting excess skin and little extra parts. I start really close up and really tightly closed so you don't risk cutting in too deep, and then it cleans up that area right there. Okay, all right, so we're gonna go back to this. Cleaning this up here. You'll feel a little bit of the excess growth. And you know, each time when you swap out your colors and do another one, you don't always have to go to this much length. Usually as you're removing the polish, you can do this because your nails will naturally be softened from the removable packet. In this case, I was dealing with really super sparkly glittery polish, and as we know, that one's a little harder to get off. So I'm going ahead and doing that. Okay, so now I have a nice cleaned up cuticle area. So for this part, what's going on here? Sometimes you can kind of drag it a little bit too. You just want to make sure you're really gentle with it. This tissue is it's almost very delicate. That's where a lot of places salons can go wrong. They'll dig in or they'll sand it down too much, and that can actually impact the growth of your nail and how your nail grows out. So you want to care, you want to baby that area. Looks like I have a little extra skin right there too. So taking a little extra time cleaning this up will make a huge difference when we're done. Okay, so I just had it really nice and tight and came up close to it. I'm gonna leave that one. Okay, so now that's clean, so we're done with the refine. Now this is up to you, the next step. You can buff, or you can go ahead and purify or rinse your nail at this point. Wash with Blue Dawn dish soap or use Purify, which I love Purify. It's awesome, especially if you don't have a sink close by. So I'm gonna put that there. So this is totally up to you. You can gently buff or purify first. Choose whichever step you want to do. Just gently buff, especially around the top part and also underneath a little bit and on the sides. This makes your nail more porous, and so the color won't recede, it won't pull away, it'll stay where it needs to stay. So I'm just very gently going over that. You don't want to over buff, that can cause your nails to be a lot thinner. And sometimes it can make the color be harder to get off, and so you wind up scraping off a little more nail tissue than you want to. Okay. All right, so we've done that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do some Purify. This sets up your nail, it dries it out, makes it a nice canvas to polish on. Gets rid of all those excess lotions and oils and things you may have had or dealt with just from your daily activities. So I'm going on top and I'm going on the sides and underneath. It's about time to get a new bottle. I think actually I do have a new bottle. I just didn't grab it for this tutorial. But that's Purify, the nail spa treatment. If you don't have the nail spa treatments on hand, I highly recommend those. Those are fantastic products. Okay, so now that's primed. So usually you'd either do that or you could buff after that. And now what's the next step is to cleanse. You want to get rid of all the remaining oils, especially if you have oily nails. This is a very important step. So I'm just going to make sure I especially clean up on the sides and the top underneath, the top part. So it's a nice oil-free zone. I'm using my fingernail to kind of get on the sides there and the top as well. Felt it catch on something. Okay. All right, so do that. I use these, I'm gonna use this, I'll show you a little bit later to clean up. So I don't leave it open, I tuck it nice and tightly in the pouch, rolling it up the top like you would a bag of chips. And you wanna set this aside and hang on to it because it's gonna come in handy. Okay, so those two are ready to polish. Now I was choosing two different colors to show you here. Let's see, we'll go ahead and start with, oh, just kidding. Which one was it gonna do? I think I was gonna do this one a second. You know what, I'll do that one next. We'll do this one first. I'm doing April in Madrid, and you want to gently roll it back and forth. You don't wanna do it too fast, too hard, otherwise you will get bubbles. But you wanna do it enough where it mixes it in well. And I hear the lighter colors, you wanna make sure that you mix it in really well. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to polish and keep it clean. Because when you submit nail art, you want to make sure that your nails are nice and clean. And when you're out and about, you want to have very professional looking nails to help your business. Because your nails are your calling card. So for this trick that I've learned that's made a huge difference for me, let's see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you. Okay. So I've learned to kind of start dot here. And then you're going to gently push and fan up the brush right into your cuticle. And ironically, it fits the shape of your nail. See how nice and clean that is? And you want to embrace a gap right in there. And you want to come over here and kind of pull it down to the sides. And make sure the brush is right along the edge of my nail. Now, I'm not one to go super fast like some other gals that cruise and do their nails in 10 minutes. But I find doing this and having very little cleanup makes a whole big difference. Okay, now that I did it on this one, I'm going to show you on this nail a different color. And I'm going to show you how it used to be to kind of slap it on there and how to clean up from there. So remember, you can always clean up before you cure. Once you cure it, it's harder to clean up. So this time I'm going to utilize Seaside Sunday. I've already rolled it. I'm going to do a thin coat here. I'm going to zoom in. And this time, I'm not even going to brush it on. I'm not going to push the brush into the cuticle. I'm just going to lay it on there. So, oops, got some on the side. This probably looks a little more familiar to you about maybe how you first started doing your nails. Okay. There we go. Probably looks more like the typical when things are really super messy. Do not cure. You can clean this up before curing so that you have really professional looking nails, and everyone that sees your nails will want to know where you got them done. And that's when you can share your little spiel with them. Okay, so a few things you can do here. The obvious one is to utilize the awesome pusher tool here. You can just gently scrape off the excess. And I use, just a little paper towel. Some use the cleanser wipe, some use the remover. I usually use just like a little paper towel. Okay, so I'm just gently scraping it off. So some like that, it's very precise. It is a little sharper, so some people with sensitive fingers might prefer a different method. So that's one that you can do. Another one that I like to do is utilize the cleanser wipe that we had folded up, rolled up tight in here. I will fold this over like so. Oops, I forgot that. Oh, well, you get the idea. So you can just gently clean up the side there. You can use your fingernail too, of course. So there's that option. I'm gonna put this back in here. I'm gonna show you a few options. Cleanup, you can try what works best for you. Oh my gosh, I'm totally forgetting that this finger is wet. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and take that off so I don't mess myself up. Okay, and we'll just fix the polish so it looks a little bit more professional here. I love that you can fix things. If you botch it, you can totally fix it. Okay, so you still have polish here. You do not want to cure. You do not want to have polish on the sides of your nail or underneath here. You want to have them look very, very professional. So another method that you can do is take a little brush like this, and then this has rubbing alcohol in it, or isopropyl, however you are familiar with it. I'm just going to dip a little bit on the brush, tap it off, set that aside, and you can zoom in here. You can clean it up with the brush. Some might prefer this because it's really, really super, super gentle. This is also how you can create your smile line for the French manicure. And I can also show you, this is how I was able to create the 40s reverse French manicure, the moon shape. Those, the red nails on the corporate photo group, those are my nails that I did for a show, and it was a 40s style. And so I dipped my brush in rubbing alcohol, and I'm utilizing this brush that has a nice rounder kind of tip to it. And then you can just kind of swoop it off. Just like that, and you have a beautiful moon shape. I'm gonna wipe off some of the excess on the towel here. And I'm just gonna go in and grab that little bit right there. Okay, and any extra you can also utilize your fingernail once again, however you want. See how you have this nice curve? Now you can always go back in and fix it. It's a pretty nice curve. But that will give you a little fun tip in addition to cleaning up your nails. See, I don't have any polish here. The polish here is gone, as well as the side, and none on the tip. So I hope those tips are super helpful for you for cleaning up your nails, having a nice manicure. Remember, we want to make sure that our nails are nice and professional looking, not have the excess polish here. You always want to embrace a little bit of a gap. Not this much gap, of course, but this is that special style. So if you want, we can go ahead and do this again, and I can show you. Again, or I can show you how to do the French tip with the smile line. I could do that. That could be fun. Okay, we'll do that. So, just gonna, I'll zoom you in. We're gonna come across here. Just a nice wide line. Don't have to worry about following and having it perfect. This is also how you can do an ombre. Start in the special baby ombres, add a little white and then some clear polish and kind of blend it back and forth. But for this sake, we're going to use this brush again. Going to use some rubbing alcohol. Get a little bit on the brush. And now you can go, see if I can, I can't quite do this from looking above. Can take the brush and kind of round it over. Just like that. Now this could be a designer tip I brushed a little too much far. You can have another color here. That's how you go about doing that. Otherwise, you can fix it. Beauty of this is you can always go back and fix things. Anything is fixable until you cure. Okay, so I'm just gonna curve it just a little bit. Can you see that? I hope. I'm just slowly taking it over. Gonna patch that just a little bit. You could always do straight across too, but your typical, it's a little hard to keep my hand like that. There we go, now it's working with me. You have this beautiful French tip in a different color, and you could put something over that too. So those are some fun tips that I hope that will help elevate your current nail art. And I'm excited to see what you guys do. Just remember, always embrace a little bit of a gap, and then make sure that you don't have polish on the sides, underneath, as well as right here. You want to keep that nice and clean. So I hope that's helpful for you. Reach out to me if you have any questions, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the night. Take care.